Hello, my name is Anthea Gibson. I'm a student enrolled in Aspen University, course Community Health Nursing 2. Today we'll reflect of the Atlanta Jail Education Project that I focused on for my community health assignment. We'll reflect with the objectives to explain how the assessment was completed, how effective it was, discuss how the interventions were used to impact the location, include in my explanation the tools that I might have used for my evaluation. The county that I focused on was Gwinnett County, which is located in the outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia. Gwinnett County Jail is where I focus my community health project on. I was allowed access by the clinical manager to certain areas. However, due to COVID, I was limited my access due to not receiving the vaccine at the time. However, I was able to speak with the therapists and medical staff on board to help me expand on my project. How was my assessment overall? With many of the inmates, I was able to look into their charts and to evaluate their mental status, as some of them were going to therapy. It was very interesting and surprising to know that therapy was allowed to them. Not only therapy, but also AA and drug meetings were still continued despite the pandemic. They were able to receive that with their main therapist. My target group was inmates with mental history or any mental disorders, which was quite a few of them. However, I was allowed access to 2 charts, and both of these inmates had an extensive history of mental disorders. What I would do differently, I would have loved to have more access throughout the facility. However, due to the current status of the world with our pandemic, I was limited to only one area in the facility. Evaluation, one of the major tools was to use a questionnaire. I was able to use a questionnaire with the staff to evaluate their inmates on how they were treated mentally. These 2 tools were included various questions about mental health. The other way included the test. This can be done after a presentation to question the therapist as well as the medical staff of how effective my assessments were during my evaluation on the facility. The other tools I used was to analyze the effects of mental health problems. For example, screening tools such as adult substance use surveys can be used based to evaluate any forms of abuse. The audience were very appreciative. The audience that I was able to have at the time were located in the Human Resource Building due to my access was not allowed due to my facilitator was out of the facility. However, the Human Resource Department allowed me to give them information, and I received feedback from them as well. It was as full participation of an audience that I could receive at the time. A lot of my printouts that I had were able to be posted on the bulletin board in one of the inmate areas, which gave access to a large number of prisoners who weren't able to have access to my presentation, but were able to receive the information. These inmates were the ones that I saw with the mental health, which was about 6 of them. However, I only had access to 2 charts. In conclusion, one of the major differences between the national and local health issues is the level of effect. Local areas are affected in severe ways in comparison to national. The other perspective is that the resources can be unequal. Local areas can have minimal resources for dealing with the health issues. Some of the ethnic groups in the local area are affected more by the issues in comparison to other ethnic groups. One of the findings was that in comparison to the national data, the Atlanta jails were affected more with mental health issues. The other findings was that small jails have less resources for mental health in comparison to larger jails. However, the intervention used would impact at the local, state, and national level. The Educational Community Project would help to minimize the prisoner's development of mental health issues in the prison, both locally and nationally. The other way is to manage the mental health disorder because of coping interventions and access to treatment. The other impact is helping and connecting prisoners with available resources of mental health. Thank you.